Hi there, my name is Sam with Bulldog Rooter, and I'm sitting here with Ernie from Bulldog as well. We were both on a job today trying to clear out a sewer line. We're currently doing a video inspection of said sewer line on 2812 West Sharp Avenue in Spokane, Washington, and it is April 11th, 2017. So what we're looking at right here is a little blurry screen. Sorry about that. We're trying to get it cleaned off. We're just hitting a little bit of water, just kind of getting it cleaned off. This is the end of the sewer line where it connects to the city sewer. This particular sewer line is very long. It's about 190 feet long. And what we're looking at right now is the end of the sewer line where it connects to the city sewer, which is right here, right where we drop into this water. As you can see, this is kind of dark and murky. That's where the water is. We start to pull back out. We see the end of the sewer line right here. This sewer line consists of 4-inch clay tile. 4-inch clay tile is a fairly good pipe. The only issues I really see with tile nowadays is you'll start to see settling in between separations in the tile. So you'll have sections of tile that usually come in between 2 to 5 feet. And you'll start to see settling in the ground to where the seams of these sections will actually be offset. What we're looking at right here is one of those seams, and it looks like a slight crack in the end of the pipe, and it's very, very slight actually. There's not really a huge issue with this crack. I don't really see anything that could get caught up on it, to be honest. It actually looks pretty okay. And we can see one of those seams right there now that we pull back a little bit more. To the left side of the screen, the top right-hand corner side of the screen, you'll see a black hose. We're going to see that the whole entire way. We had to do many things to get this line open today, and it's just because this is the first time this line is backed up, and it's just been building up throughout the years while the owner's been living here. So what we were pulling out was mostly tree roots inside this line. And with tree roots also comes things getting stuck inside the line, mostly stool debris and whatnot. And it was just so sludgy that when we were cabling it, we couldn't quite open it up. So this black hose we're seeing is what's called a jetter. We put high pressurized water through the line. It ran it at about 1,000 psi to cut through roots and push out all the sludge. You can see another little separation right there. Towards the bottom of the screen, you'll actually see like an inch of pipe that looks like it's kind of coming out of the other one. Excuse me, that's a seam that looks pretty normal. It's also stair-stepping down. A lot of times back in this day when they were putting this stuff in, I think this line was put in 1939, and they didn't actually have sections of pipe that could make turns, so they did purposely put things on offset a little bit to make it drain downwards. And this is where it actually, the pipe itself starts to turn and go down into the city sewer right here. Looks like we have another separation right there. That one looks like it was put in on purpose as well to kind of get some more downward stuff right there. Another seam, that one looks almost perfect. I mean, this pipe looks almost brand new that we've gone through it with our jetter. It just shoots high pressurized water through the walls of the pipe and adds stuff to really clean it up well. So we pretty much just cleaned the pipe up very, very well. You know, there was roots in a lot of these sections. It looks like a lot of that stuff's been washed out. The pipe almost looks new. The line is a little abnormally long. Most lines average from about 80 to about 100 feet. This one's almost 200, so you can see just a tiny little bit of root growth there. We're going to turn our jetter back on and run it on the way back as we pull out. So most of this stuff's going to be cleaned out. But you can see that's the amount of roots that was left. And you'll probably see that on different seams and stuff. That's where the roots particularly come in, is just different seams of the pipe. Once they start to settle and separate a little bit, which is very normal once again, the roots will start to get in. We'll usually suggest for a line like this is to just get maintenance every once in a while, maybe once a year, every other year, to make sure these roots don't grow back. You run into an issue like this. So we're seeing just a little bit more roots now. You have a little bit of like hairline roots right there on the kind of the middle of the bottom of the screen, and those are very, very small, minuscule. The stuff we were pulling out today was just a buildup of over time, and it got pretty big. A little bit more right there. A little bit more right there as well. Still not too bad. The pipe honestly looks like it's in great condition. Everything's going downhill. Like I said before, I think the main issue today was just the fact that no maintenance had been done on this line in quite some time. Well, the roots got to grow in. Doesn't look like the roots damaged anything, which is good. And then sludge got built up on top of that. And we were able to cable it out and get all the roots out, but the sludge is kind of a different thing. That's why we had to get this jetter out today, that black hose that we're seeing once again, and just shoot pressurized water through it, blow all that sludge out. And now you have a brand new line from what it looks like. A little bit of roots there, nothing bad. We're still in that 4-inch clay as we pull back, and all of these seams look great. Still pulling back here. Very, very tiny roots. I expect most of those to be all the way gone by the time we are done today. Still on 4-inch tile. We did all of our work from the downstairs basement. There is what's called a backwater valve here, so if the city sewer, which was where we were at before, ever backs up, and it'll back up all the way to the house, all that water essentially would go straight towards this house because the sewer line is technically below the city sewer. But this backwater valve here is installed to make sure that water doesn't come back through the pipe and into the house. So if the city sewer ever backs up, you guys will be protected. We're still in the 4-inch clay tile. So far, still not really seeing any major issues at all. Everything looks like it's doing great. There's tiny little bits of roots there, but nothing too bad. And the good thing is I'm not really seeing any cracks or huge holes in this pipe or anything like that. It looks like at one point in time, right here towards the left-hand side of the screen, you can see that hole right there in the pipe. That is, looks like another sewer line was tied in here at one point, but it is not today because we ran enough water through this thing. We would have had some neighbor somewhere yelling at us for water backing up. But this line looks like it's cut off, and I don't think anyone shares this line anymore. But at one point it was shared. Pulling back, it looks like we switched over to cast iron, 4-inch cast iron. Cast iron is still around nowadays, and it is still technically installed nowadays. It's a great pipe. The only thing that I really see issues with is when it starts to rust out and get really crusty, and it will start to crack and eventually collapse. That usually takes a very large amount of time. This pipe looks like it's great. I don't see any huge rusting issues. It's normal to see a little bit because you're putting the water down a iron line, but looks fine. So far so good, not seeing too much. Then right there from that cast iron we switched over to what's called ABS pipe. It's this stuff that we install inside houses nowadays, sometimes outside, depends on who you are and what you do. But this pipe is very, very good pipe. It's put in with cement joints, and I don't really run into any issues with this thing at all. And that ABS is going to be what's inside the house. Right here we're popping out of our backwater valve, but we did all of our work from today right here in the ground. This is in the bathroom in the basement, and that's going to conclude our video inspection. Once again, that was Sam and Ernie with Bulldog Rooter. Thank you.